Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning message here for October 1st. Seriously, October 1st, my darlings. Welcome into the final quarter of the year. Let's take a look what's going on here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Get yourself grounded in your body. What feelings are you having as I'm doing this reading? All right. This is a good time to start a journal. I know Colleen hates me to say that, but it's true. All right. Let's see where we go. What's going on for you? For those watching, please. Message for those watching. Loss. There is some loss here. Rising above it, clarity, freedom, and solution. So some of you may have been kind of stuck in this loss moment. Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. So there is somebody new coming in, and with it, you know, I feel like some of you may have not wanted to let go of a person, okay? And it's very difficult to let go of some kind of relationship or a person or something that you know just isn't going to work out. It's like when it's in that place of like, well, it still could come around, you're in like this limbo area. And so now I feel like the universe is calling on you to release and let go. It doesn't mean that that person will never come back, but if you're holding in a holding pattern, then you're not moving forward yourself. And so that's the thing that needs to be let go of, okay? Any kind of holding on to any kind of thing that it also prevents you from feeling the loss. And that's why a lot of people hold on to things, because they don't want to feel the loss, okay? So let's see where we go. Rising above and Nine of Hearts. Your wish is granted. Once you release and let go, your wish is granted. Saw that coming. Five of Pentacles. So underneath, what's not being shown is fear of abandonment. Okay, fear of abandonment here. King of Wands, Ten of Swords. Woo! Six of Wands. High Priestess. Death. Looking at you, High Priestess. Eight of Wands. King of Cups. Pisces energy of the moon, Two of Wands. So there's something here about this full moon coming up, also moving in, we're in Libra time now, but moving into Scorpio. This could be happening over the next couple of months, okay? I feel like there is something that needs to end for you. You could be choosing between a fire sign and a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sag. Okay, and you're the High Priestess here, okay? So in order for one thing to move forward, okay, you've got to make some kind of decision here. So something really needs to end completely. Okay, it can be the water sign, okay? But it can also be your own heart, leaving your heart with somebody who's not muckling on, who's not, you know, sort of being involved in the relationship. The relationship is over, and you're standing in it going, well, it's not really over. I mean, it's not over until I say it's over, or it's not over. I won't feel the loss if I just keep talking, right? I won't feel the loss if I just keep working on attracting that person back. And how can I do more law of attraction stuff? How can I do more crystals or gemstones to make that person come back? The feeling of releasing and letting go and loss needs to happen so that you can move on and make a choice for yourself and overcome it. Because right now you're in this very lower vibration place, and there's nothing wrong with having loss. I mean, day follows night, right? And you know, there's contrast in life, and that is what makes life interesting. It's also about not wanting to feel the grief or feel the abandonment. So there's like this holding on to a relationship for that purpose. I feel like you know that. I feel like in your heart of hearts, You do know that, all right? You understand that this letting go of having this person in your life, it's a process. I hear that, but it's also, at some point, you're going to need to move on from this. Eight of Wands is it's almost like you need to say it out loud. It's like people who are going through a divorce. Well, let's not talk about relationship for a second. Some of you could have this experience of always identifying yourself with a job or with a title or with a industry or something like that. What are you if that's really done? Like if you've wanted to move on from that, but there's still something sexy about being involved in it, and or that's still how you identify yourself. You know, I'm a former attorney, I'm a former media, you know, I'm a former reporter for this thing. You know what I mean? Like there's something that really needs to go out of your life, and now you can be free to communicate in a more authentic way about who you are. This other thing was defining you. It's almost like, you know, I was someone's missus. I was someone's person. I was in, you know, I was an entrepreneur. I was somebody who, you know, did this kind of work. But it's done. And so now there's like this moment of time, like, who am I then? If I'm identifying myself with external things and those external things leave, do I still exist? The answer is yes, you do. And so that's the work of this new phase, which is about clarity, freedom, solution. You're having freedom from this old life, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. Protection has been a big theme because I do feel like some of you feel like letting go of a past thing can also be financially devastating. And okay, that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm staying in that because of that. But others of you are really staying in a thing because that's how you identified yourself. Okay, whoops, this goes this way. Right? Like, I remember having a business that was burning me out. It, you know, and it did. Before this came along, before I started doing this every day, there was something that was definitely burning me out, but I just didn't know what the future was. I didn't understand what the next step was, so I really held on to it for a long time, and longer than I should have, maybe a year longer than I should have, because it was really over, and I was just kind of living in the fumes of it. I was living in the death rattle of that business, but that was my identity for such a long time that I didn't know who I was if that wasn't there anymore, right? If that ceased to exist, then how, you know, and this is really about identifying yourself as a human being, not a human doing. You've heard that before. Identifying yourself as a loving, kind individual, identifying yourself as joyful and fun and whatever it is, right? Like that's a little bit of my brand is about, you know, living in your joy, walking your mission, doing things like that. And that is very different from how I identified myself in the past. So I feel like there's some fear around leaving something behind that really identified for you who you were. Who you were, not really who you are. And it identified you in a very external way. Okay? So now you get to make a decision. You're making a choice to move forward. Okay? I will look at, you know, there's been a really interesting thing going on with the readings where it's like every zodiac sign is there. Not so much here. I mean, I see Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and I see a fire sign. So I'm going to look at those. That's half of them. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sag. Okay, but it does feel to me like the water energy can be about the loss and the letting go, and the fire energy is the passion about moving forward. So it doesn't have to be an actual zodiac sign person. It's the energy of what's happening, releasing and letting go, healing one's heart, moving into the future in victory. You may have another person coming in that You already may be talking to them. And this is what's bringing you to this choice point, okay? This is what's bringing you to this pivot, to this decision of moving on and claiming your heart's desire, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. So just so you know, it's interesting that the word protection's in there, because I feel like when we make this transition, when we pass through a leaving behind of our old identity, there is a moment in time before we embrace the new identity that we become like sort of nebulous, Neptunian, and it's sort of, it can be anything, right? There can be this real positive spin on that. It's like, oh, the anticipation of, I can be anything I want. I can create the life that I have been looking to create. There's just this big expanse of stuff. And then when you make choices, you start closing doors, right? And you start getting specific about where you're going. And, a lot of people leave the doors open for a really long time. I feel like this is saying to me that because of the fear of abandonment of yourself, not knowing who you're gonna be by letting go of this past, that's what's kept you stuck there. But it's truly done. All right, Ten of Swords, it's truly done. So the time for action is now. Rising above. Okay? All right, morning message. If you're on Patreon, this message is going to continue right after this. Right after I say this, that if you're not on Patreon for the morning messages, the link for the extended part of this reading is below. Either way, see you over there.